All right, so today we're going to make this A1 bracket. We're going to make it a little bit different than maybe some of your other parts because we're going to actually make this in metric. So instead of going to that little black arrow, we're actually going to click on the little piece of paper that says new. And then we want to select standard millimeter. And then we have our new part open. But now it's just going to go in, it's going to go metric as opposed to standard inches. Everything else is going to stay the same. We're going to go to Create 2D Sketch. Make sure you click on that top half of that button. We are going to select our X work plane. And we're going to start off by making a rectangle. So remember, this is click and click. So click one time to start, one time to stop. And our rectangle, when we go to measure it, D for dimensions, or you can select the dimension tool up here. And we're going to make this 156 by 87. So the long section is going to be 156. And you notice it shot off my screen, so I'm going to hit home on my keyboard. And that'll center it again. So 156 by 87. And then we're ready to extrude it. So we're going to extrude. So we're going to extrude it to 50. Alright, so I'm going to hit home again on my keyboard, and that'll center it. Or you can push out with your finger scroller on your mouse. And we're left with a rectangle that looks like this. Now we're going to make the edits on the side for your kind of cutouts. So we're going to put a sketch on this flat surface here. So I'm going to click on the surface. Third button over is Create Sketch. And again, I'm going to grab my rectangle tool. And I'm going to make two rectangles. I'm going to make sure you start on that top line. You got to click on that top line to start. And then you want to finish on this side line over here. I'm going to do the same thing on the other end, making sure that I start my rectangle on this top line, finish it on this side line. And then for dimensions, I'm going to make it 65. And then going across is going to be 32. Same on the other side. And then I'm ready to extrude. So E to extrude. I select both of those rectangles that I just drew, and I change it to cut. So now we have our basic kind of cutout. So now we're going to hollow out this part in the middle. So again, I'm going to put my mouse on this flat surface. I'm going to left click on it. My three boxes pop up. I'm going to add another sketch. And I'm going to use my rectangle tool again, starting on this top line. And then just doesn't matter where you finish, just go ahead and put a rectangle because we're going to measure it again here in a second. So the dimensions for this, so D for dimensions, or you can select your dimensions tool. We're going to make this 50. And then as far as the height, we're going to measure from the bottom of this to the bottom of this. So instead of measuring actually this line, we're going to measure the distance between these two. So I click on that bottom line and then move my mouse down, 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 down. Click on the bottom of the whole piece, and then we're going to make this 29. So now the distance between these two things is 29. We're going to do the same thing, distance. So from the right side to right side is going to be 21. And we do not have to measure the other side because that already locks it into place. Because if this is 21, this is 50, this has to be 21. So now we're ready to extrude. So we're going to hit extrude. We're going to select this, and we're going to change it to cut. But we're not cutting all the way through. We're only going to cut it 27. So now we have our basic shape. Now we're ready to start putting holes in. I'm going to use my view cube, and I'm going to click on the top view. And I don't like to look at it this way, so I'm going to rotate it too, so it's horizontal. So here are our two little side pieces that we're going to put holes in. So right here and right here. I'm going to go ahead and click on one of these flat surfaces, put my sketch on, and we're going to use our point tool, and I'm going to put a hole. Now you can see how you can kind of cheat a little bit. If I bring my mouse down, you can see that dotted line pops up, and then I bring my mouse over and a dotted line pops up again. That's how you know it's going to be centered. So it's 16 by 25. So I'm going to pop it in there. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to come down, put one over here. There's my dotted line for right and left, but it's not going to give me a side-to-side one. So here I'm just going to have to go ahead and click there, use my dimensions tool, and I'm going to have to measure from side to side for this one. So there's my 25. That is correct. I'm going to leave that at 25. My right and left, for some reason it's not letting me measure this here. Alright, so using dimensions, I'm going to measure from the center of this point to my side, and I'm going to make that 16. Alright, so once I have both of these measured, now you can double check this one if you want to. That should be 16. This should be 25. It is. Now I'm going to use my hole tool. So H for hole. And you want to select this counter bore. This top number is going to be 18. Second number is going to be 10. And this bottom number is going to be 13. Hit OK. And if you use your orbit tool, now you'll be able to see you kind of have these little counter set bores. Now we're going to put a couple holes in the side here. We're going to put these two in. So put my sketch on. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to use my point tool. I'm going to drop 2 in there, and then we're going to measure. From the center point to the top line is going to be 15. From the second one to the top line is going to be 42. Center point to the left side is going to be 23. Oops. 23. Same for the second one. Now we're going to use our hole tool again, so H for hole. Instead of this counter bore here, we're going to use this third one. And our numbers are going to be 20, 90 degrees, and we're going to still use 13. Hit OK. And our holes are in. Last thing that we need to do is put in some fillets. So we're just going to kind of round these edges off a bit. So I'm going to use my fillet tool, and we're going to select a few edges all at the same time. I'm going to select this inside of both ends here, and then the outsides, corners. And we're going to set these at 12. And then just to soften up some other ones, we're going to fillet again. And we're going to fillet the inside and our outside lines all the way around. And we're going to make these not 12, we're going to make them 5. So there's your A1 bracket. We're going to go ahead and save it. So go to the I, save as, and I already have an A1 bracket folder made, so that's where I'm going to save mine. You can save yours in your engineering folder, wherever it is that you are saving your materials. So then you just hit save. Name it A1. And that's it.